Well, that's nearly it for This Day Live, but we have a musical treat for you to round off the show. Before we have a chat with our next guest, let's take a look at what she does her best. Well, I am joined in the studio by that singer-songwriter who you saw there, Namvula, who is also the co-founding director of Film Africa, London's largest celebration of African cinema and culture. Thanks a lot for coming in. We'll talk about your music in a little while. Why did you set up Film Africa? What was the thinking behind it when you originally did it?
Well, with a very good friend of mine, Lindiwe Dovi, who works at SOAS, the School of Orient and African Studies, we basically noticed that there was a huge gap in terms of platforms for celebrating and promoting African culture broadly, but especially film. And at that time, I was working for the Royal African Society. And really it was a passion. She's a filmmaker and she teaches film. I am very much a proponent of promoting African culture. And so we were just trying to do our bit, really, I think, in London in the way that we knew best. And it was a really exciting venture. It's something that we're both really, really proud to have been part of. And I think it's a great thing that it's still going on, so people should definitely look out for it. And it's just provided a really important space in London's cultural scene, I think, for African filmmakers and looking at the issues around African filmmaking as well, for those discussions to be able to happen.
And moving to your music, you're one of the very few well-known Zambian musicians within London. Tell us about the relationship your culture has with music and the music scene in Zambia. Is that where you drew your inspiration from in Zambia? Because you've also got Scottish heritage too.
Yeah, well known, I don't know, but trying to get there. But yeah, no, my father is Scottish, my mum is Zambian, but I definitely feel the sense that Zambia is home to me. So a lot of the inspiration for this current album came from there. I spent a 6-month stint there and I was doing a lot of learning, studying traditional music and traditional songs. And so I do get my inspiration from life more broadly. They're very, very wide, from folk to jazz, but a lot of my writing in this first album is in my mother's language, which comes from the central part of Zambia, and that was a very conscious choice that I made. And rhythmically as well, you know, but obviously living in London, the beauty of being a musician in London is that you have access to so much creativity and so many amazing musicians, and so being able to tap into that has been such a joy as well. Yeah.
And was it always going to be music from you from an early age?
No. I am one of those wandering souls who took a while to finally put my feet on the path that they needed to be on. And I have a lot of different interests. I love photography as well. And I, like I said, you know, we've spoken about the cultural aspect, the cultural promotion aspect. But music, it took me a while to have the courage to bring it out into a public space. That took quite a few years of me working on my self-confidence.
Well, you talked about your photography there.
Yeah.
Just what exactly is it about photography that inspires you? What kind of pictures do you take?
I focus more myself on social documentary, on stories, and really it's very personal for me. They tend to have an Africa focus. So, for example, I did a piece that was published in the Africa Report on African migrants living in China, and really it's nothing more than personal interest in stories that I think are important and that I think have value. But I think that I try to show the everyday in a story, and to almost de-dramatize issues that tend to become very kind of, dramatic in some senses.
Returning to your music, your next gig is the 2nd of May,
Yeah.
that's this Saturday.
Yes,
Just tell us a little bit about
that. It's going to be at the Canada Water Cultural Centre, and it's nice because I've just been away for 5 months in Zambia, so it's really nice to be able to play with the guys again. So it should be a really, really nice evening, really great evening. So it starts at 7:30, so if people want to come along, they can check out the Canada Water Cultural Centre website.
Brilliant. Well, we wish you the best of luck, and congratulations on everything you've done before, a massive, diverse range of things, and it's really, really interesting to have met you. So, Namvula, thank you very much indeed for coming in.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.